What if I told you this $100 bill was worth more than this $100 bill? I know that sounds ridiculous because $100 is $100, right? Well, what if its value depended entirely upon when you received it? And no, this time we're not talking about inflation. In this video, we're shifting the focus away from the earlier years of personal finance to the later years, and probably one of the most controversial financial topics, especially for those approaching retirement. A classic dispute. No, not Apple versus Android or Home Depot versus Lowe's. Today we're looking at whether you should draw your Social Security benefits sooner or later, but including a key variable that every Social Security calculator is missing from the equation, and ironically, probably the most important factor of all. Hey everyone, this is AJ, your ace in the hole, and welcome to the channel where we simplify personal finance and provide tips for young adults, parents, and sometimes even retirees. And occasionally, we stumble upon a missing link within some very important financial formulas. And if this sounds interesting, please take a quick second to click the like and subscribe button and check out all my other content just like this. Now I know there are hundreds of videos and articles that address this topic, all that walk you through the standard calculation of when you should begin to draw Social Security. But this video adds a slight twist. So if you've researched this topic at all, you've heard the conventional wisdom. If you can afford it, delay claiming Social Security. After all, your benefit increases every month you delay, all the way until age 70, yet will be less if you claim early. In simple terms, someone with a full retirement age of 67 collecting $2,000 per month when drawing early at age 62 could receive over $3,500 per month if waiting to age 70. That's a difference of over $18,000 annually, which, let's face it, could be a pretty penny. And this is where the famous break-even analysis comes in. Claim early and you start collecting sooner, albeit less. Claim late and you receive a larger monthly check. But only if you live long enough to reach the break-even point does the larger benefit catch up and overtake the smaller earlier one. This is where you start to earn more in the long run, possibly hundreds of thousands more depending on how long you live. So, what do you do? Now to be clear, this math isn't wrong, but is it based on a bad assumption? What exactly is the goal here? Because this all seems to answer one specific question. Which strategy provides the most lifetime dollars? But what if that's not actually the question we should be asking? Now I'm curious. If you've already done some research on this, do you tend to lean towards claiming early or would you rather delay? Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. Now let's go back to the $100 bills. What if these aren't really equal? Maybe this one arrives when you're 62 years old. You're healthy, still active, you can hike, travel, and can still chase the grandkids around Disney World without needing a nap afterwards. But this one doesn't arrive until you're 80. Not that you can't still have fun at 80, but by then the list of experiences we're physically capable of enjoying is likely less. Some opportunities don't become more expensive, they simply become more difficult. So what if future dollars don't lose value because they buy less? What if they lose value because they can do less? That this $100 at age 62 is fundamentally more valuable than this $100 at age 80. Now, let's break this down. Imagine your desired retirement activity list looks something like this. Things like hiking, skiing, international travel, golfing, cycling, cruises, family theme park trips, dining out, reading, and gardening, just to name a few. Now consider how this list might change over time. As you age, some of those activities slowly begin to fade, not because you run out of money, but because the opportunity or capability to fully enjoy them diminishes. Suddenly it became very obvious. While most traditional Social Security calculators do account for inflation, investment returns, taxes, and even life expectancy, they don't account for the fact that the utility we derive from money might change over time as our physical capability changes. And here's where the math gets really interesting. You see, healthcare researchers ran into a similar problem long ago. They realized that not every additional year of life provides the same practical value if health and functionality changes. So they developed a metric called the Quality Adjusted Life Year, or QALY. The idea is simple. Ranging from 0 to 1, one QALY equals 1 year of perfect health. But a year lived with physical limitations would be something less, for instance 0.5 QALY, all the way down to 0, which, well, you can guess what that means. This was used as a measurement to understand the cost, benefit, and quality of life improvement of a certain treatment. And then, that's when the thought hit me. If healthcare economists are making decisions adjusting life years based on capability, why don't retirement planners do the same? Every Social Security calculator I've seen assumes that every dollar received at age 62 provides exactly the same value at age 70. But do they? Inspired by the QALY logic, what if we created a modified approach? not a replacement for the traditional analysis, just a different lens through which we look at the problem. So I came up with a variable which we'll call the capability adjustment factor, or CAF for short. The idea is that a dollar is still a dollar, but the practical value of that dollar depends on your capability to use it towards the experiences you care about. And if CAF is the missing factor, then the resulting value could be thought of as the practical value of money, or PVM, because everyone loves acronyms. In its simplest form, the practical value of money equals dollars times the capability adjustment factor. Here's an example of what that might look like. The PVM being the real value of your money when factoring in capability limitations. But the key point isn't so much the equation as it is the question it creates. Should retirement planning, or in this case Social Security benefit calculations, optimize for normal dollars or for the practical value those dollars can actually create? Let's now go back to the classic break-even chart, which asks, at which age can I collect the most Social Security dollars? But what if there's another chart worth considering? What if instead of using normal dollars, we accumulated the capability adjusted practical dollars, applying a lower capability factor to future years, thus acknowledging that the years you're giving up by delaying Social Security may be the healthiest, most active, and most opportunistic years you'll ever have, meaning the later dollars are actually worth less because they can do less. As you can see, this approach looks quite different, and in fact questions if there's still a break-even point at all. The traditional graph treats all years as interchangeable, while the adjusted framework simply challenges whether they really are. Because the reality is, some opportunities have expiration dates, and once a certain experience has passed, an extra $1,000 a month years later may not be able to buy it back. Now, remember that activity list? Using this concept, one approach might be to group them into time blocks of years when they would likely diminish. Then assign a capability factor to each individual item based on the health or capability required for you personally. Again, 1.0 if requiring perfect health, and something less based on your individual capability for each. Then average them out. And this will certainly vary by person since everyone is unique. This would provide a capability factor to use for those time periods to then calculate against the projected income for those years, showing the true practical value of money for those periods. Using our earlier assumptions, this table shows what that might look like. Clearly, the practical value of our money diminishes in tandem alongside our diminishing capability, becoming even more extreme over time. So all of this considered, maybe these $200 bills aren't equal after all. Maybe one arrives at a point in your life when it can be transformed into any experience or activity you choose, while the other arrives after some of those opportunities have slipped away. Now, I'm not recommending that everyone should claim Social Security early, as every individual circumstance is unique. Health matters, longevity matters, family circumstances matter, investments, taxes, and survivor and spousal benefits all matter, but this critical factor should be considered. The traditional break-even analysis answers the question it was designed to answer. It just may be answering the wrong question. Because maybe the goal of retirement and Social Security planning isn't simply to maximize the number of dollars you receive, but instead maximize the amount of life experiences those dollars can buy. In other words, are you trying to maximize your retirement account or maximize your retirement? And with that, I really hope this video provided some helpful insight. And if you're still here, thank you so much. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others that might also find it helpful. And be sure to check out this video that YouTube personally selected just for you, just for sticking around. And remember, it's not how much you save, it's how early you start. This is AJ, your ace in the hole. See ya!